tax delinquent homes for sale. How do you find them? What can you get out of it? And what are the risks? So tax delinquent homes are properties that someone didn't pay their real estate taxes and they're behind in taxes. And there are a couple ways to play this opportunity. One way is you can talk to owners who are behind in their real estate taxes and you can see if they want to sell, because they may want to sell, they may need to sell, they may have to sell. It may be a vacant property where they're not using it, but maybe it's not in a condition where they can resell it. Maybe they're just overwhelmed, they don't feel like dealing with it. Could be all kinds of things. It doesn't hurt to have a conversation. And those people are often in a situation where they just want to get rid of the property. It's not about top dollar, it's about getting rid of the property. And your service primarily is just making it easy. You can take it, in as-is condition. They don't have to fix it up. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to follow a realtor's recommendations. They can just sell it to you outright. In exchange, you get a better price. They get a sale that's done, and they move on with their life. That can be great. So that's one. And you can get lists of properties that are behind in the real estate taxes, typically from the tax collector. Just ask for it. And for those, you can see if people will make a deal. You're going to end up talking to a lot of people. A few people will make deals, and you get some really wonderful deals. The second way to play it is you can wait for the auction. All counties have to do something to collect their real estate taxes. Some sell tax lien certificates, which is different than what we're talking about. That's not property ownership. That's a financial investment with a yield. Many hold tax deed sales where they sell the property to the highest bidder, and you can get amazing bargains at those sales. The counties and cities have to sell properties because if the taxes go unpaid, those real estate taxes have to pay for the schools, the teachers, the police, the firemen, picking up the trash, fixing the potholes, all of the things that local governments do. So they have to collect those taxes. So if someone doesn't pay their taxes, typically after 3 to 4 years of not being paid, the county's going to force that property to a tax delinquency sale. At that tax delinquency sale, the properties are sold typically free and clear of liens and mortgages. That's not the place in all places. In Pennsylvania, they don't come free and clear, but in most places, they do come free and clear, even of mortgages, believe it or not. Even the IRS can get wiped out as a lien on real estate, believe it or not. I know that seems crazy. How could that happen? But that is the law. And the law gives the IRS essentially 120 days to redeem the property, meaning get it back from you for the bidder. And they don't do that generally. So even the IRS gets its lien removed from the property, and even mortgage companies lose their lien on the real estate, meaning when someone buys a property at a tax deed sale, in every place I know of except Pennsylvania, in every place else, mortgages are no longer a lien on the real estate to the new buyer. So it even wipes out mortgages. So tax deed sales can be great ways to acquire properties very cheaply. Now, typically the properties are not in great shape. Typically they need a lot of work. Typically they're not in the finest of neighborhoods, but you can pick them up dirt cheap. And price can solve a lot of other problems. Now, it may be that you're just going to want to buy these properties and wholesale them out, sell them very quickly with a small markup, or you may want to fix them up and flip them, or you may want to fix them up a little bit and hold them for rentals. There are plenty of people that need affordable rentals, and sometimes if you buy a place cheaply enough, you can give them a great deal on rent. You don't have to make it into the Taj Mahal, and you can have a nice little business doing that. I've also had some friends who make great money at tax deed sales buying places ahead of the development curve. If you look in any city in America, they have development plans where they talk about what are their plans for the future. Where are they going to put in highways? Where are they going to put in mass transit? Where are they going to put investment to improve neighborhoods? And many friends of mine have made really great money by understanding what those plans are and then buying ahead of that. Meaning if there's a neighborhood that's slated for redevelopment and fix-up, they'll go in and buy land and houses very cheaply at tax deed sales. They'll make a little money where they can, like rent it out cheaply, and mostly they're just waiting for the redevelopment to come along. And when the redevelopment comes along, often that causes spikes in prices where the prices go way up, and so that external factor makes you a lot of money even if you never touched a finger to fix up the property. It can really be a great way to go. That's a little more sophisticated, obviously. You'd want to get a hold of your county and city's 10-year plan and 20-year plan if they have one, and see where the development is coming, and then you buy ahead of that. It can be a great way to do it. Also a great way to buy places that are fix and flip properties. The challenge of a fix and flip investor is finding properties at a good enough deal. It is hard to find properties at 30 to 40% off of retail, which is what you typically need to do to make any money in that business. Fix and flip, that's like the dirty secret of it. You have to buy really cheaply, and that's not easy. So tax deed sales can be a way to buy properties very cheaply because it just goes to the highest bidder. They start the bidding at the amount of taxes that are owed, and after that, whoever's the high bidder gets the property. So it can be a really good way to get properties to fix and flip. Can be wonderful. I think with a fix and flip business, it's probably a harder business than most people appreciate when they first start because you've got to manage contractors, you have to manage to a budget. You're dealing with a physical piece of real estate that may have problems that are not apparent from a first inspection. So you've got all those issues. But that being said, it's a fun business. It's fun to fix places up and usually do make some money. And you just need to adhere to your numbers, which means buying at 30 to 40% less than retail. Take into account what you think the repairs are, and you should do fine with properties. So that's another way to do it. But tax delinquent sales to me are a really good way to get into real estate. Downside, you're in less desirable neighborhoods with a little bit rundown properties. But the upside is if you get a steady flow of those things, you can really make a great business out of it. I've also found a little niche in this business called overages, which is a really interesting niche. So at overages, what happens is when a property sells at the tax delinquent sale, when it sells for more than the taxes that are due, that extra money that's left over because the sale price exceeded the taxes that were due, that extra money is available for the former owner to put a claim on and to get paid out. And what we do in the overages business is we reach out to former owners and say, hey, there's an opportunity for you to collect some money for a percentage. We'll go and help you with that. So if you'd like to do that, we can work with you for a percentage. Great business. You're helping people lost everything. You're helping get money that they never know about. Like they have no clue there's this money available. And it's a really good business. And you can get lists of monies that are available that are just printed out. And you can get the contact information for the owner, I should say at this point, former owner of the property, who then can work with you to get the money for a percentage for you. I like the business because we help people who've lost so much, we help them get back on their feet, and we make great money for ourselves, and we're doing good for all the people that we're working with. So I love that part of the business. And just between you and me, we keep the government from keeping the money. Because what happens if the person doesn't claim the money, the government keeps it. And in most jurisdictions, if the people don't claim the money within a set time frame, typically 3 years, but it varies by state. But if they don't claim by the deadline, then the money just gets seized by the state and can't be claimed. That's just a mess. So I don't like that. I like helping people who've lost a lot get back money they never knew they had. That to me is the greatest business. So if you're interested in learning more about the tax liens, then I'll give you one resource, which is an interview I did with my friend Tony, who is the world-class expert in this. He has a really unique way of buying the properties and buying the tax liens and getting them cheaper than anything else where you're not competing with anybody to get them. A really great way of doing business. So I'll put a link down below to Tony's video. You can see Bob's interview with Tony. And then the second link I'll give you is an overages link. I love the overages business. I make money. I help people. It's really good and profitable, and there's plenty of room in the business. So I train people on how to do this business as well as being what I think is the biggest overages practitioner in the country. I don't know what everybody does, but I think we have the biggest business. I love teaching the business. I love getting more people involved because the people that need help, and there are thousands of them every day, they need your help and my help because I can't keep up with it all. So I do some training on that. You can see an introduction to that business. It's only an 8 or 10 minute video, very short. I'll put a link to that down below. It's Intro to Overages. It is a really great business if you want to help people and make great money. And it's a way to make money, providing a service. Really terrific. So no matter what you do, I encourage you to go forward and explore this opportunity. There are amazing opportunities in overages and buying tax lien certificates and buying properties at tax deed sale. It's a rich world full of plenty of money, plenty good that you can do, plenty of money you can make. So I'd encourage you to go check it out. So this is attorney and investor Bob Diamond. Been great being with you here today. And I hope to see you on either the Tony video interview that I did or on our training. And we can get you forward in your next step in your entrepreneurial journey.